What's going on? This is Kareem from djbooth.net, and I'm here in the lab to give you guys a quick rundown video review of the new Reloop Mixon 4 professional DJ controller. So this is a really cool controller from Reloop team. You guys remember a few years ago we did a full review on the Reloop Terminal Mix 8, and that at the time was one of their premier flagship DJ controllers for Serato DJ. It had all of the pads, all of the bells and whistles that you need on a full featured Serato DJ controller. It had all 4 channels of mixing. It had lights everywhere. It had the RGB pads. It had all of your effects controls, and it looked pretty similar to what you guys see here on camera with the Mixon 4. One of the main differences between the Terminal Mix 8 and the Mixon 4 is that this is a very versatile machine. You can use this with your PC, you can use this with Mac, you can use this with an iOS device. You can also use this with an Android device. And it's very versatile with software as well, because you can use this with Serato DJ, you can use this with Algorithm's DJ Pro software. You can also use this with other software like Virtual DJ and Tractor, and they do have mappings on their site that are endorsed by Reloop themselves. So that way when you're using this with Tractor or with Virtual DJ, you have the mappings right there at your fingertips. Just go download them, upload them to your computer, and you're ready to go. So here is the Mixon 4. Again, it's a full featured 4-channel DJ controller. It has really nice build quality. The overall impressions is the same or almost identical that of our Terminal Mix 8 review. Very solid construction. It is even built better than a lot of the other big name DJ controllers that's out there that are 4-channel flagship controllers. It has a metal top and it has plastic just about everywhere else, but it feels very sturdy. It feels very good to the touch. All of your different posts here are all metal bolted down to the actual chassis here, and all of your faders and everything have nice metal posts to them. Everything just feels like it has very high quality. You have metal aluminum top jog wheels that are also very sturdy and have really nice weight to them. So great overall impressions. Nothing's really crowded. You have enough room in order to manipulate all of your controls with ease, and there aren't any issues at all as it comes to build quality. So very good, solidly built controller. In order to set this bad boy up, depending on which devices you guys are using, for our review, we're reviewing this with Serato DJ and with the PC. But for that, you will need to go to the website, download your drivers. You should already have Serato DJ, the full edition. This is compatible with Serato DJ full edition, meaning that as soon as you plug this in, you won't have to buy any additional software. You have Serato DJ in full unlocked. And it also comes with Algorithm DJ Professional. So that is also unlocked if you guys are using this with an iOS device. It also has a cool slit here in the top, so that way you can put your iOS devices right in the top. It can also fit an iPad Pro up here. So really cool to have this right here built in, so that way you can have your iPad or your iOS devices or your other devices right here at the top of the controller, so you can see them right where you need the screens for the waveforms and for your other track information. Really cool feature to have that built right in when it's such a versatile unit. So again, for setup, you'll need those drivers. You plug this into Serato DJ, you plug in your outputs, and you're ready to go. By the way, we'll check out these inputs and outputs right now. The inputs are easy because it's one of my major gripes with this unit. You can't have a flagship unit like this and not have any inputs at all. This unit does not have any additional inputs, not even an aux input, or RCA input, or anything. So this is a complete MIDI controller. You'll have to use this with a device and with software only. You have your dual XLR outputs. You also have a master output that is RCA, and you have another booth output with separate volume control for 1/4 inch outputs as well. Then you have your USB power cable, and of course you have your power insert area as well. So really full feature controller overall. We're gonna get really deep into all of the features and functions of this controller. So let's get right into it and see what the Mixon 4 has to offer. All right, so here it is, the Reloop Mixon 4. This is their top of the line flagship digital DJ controller. Now this controller was designed to work with Serato and Algorithm DJ Pro, as you see here on the bottom of this crossfader area. And it also comes bundled with both of these softwares, so you can choose to use this either with the full Serato DJ experience as we have here, or you can use it with Algorithm DJ as well. This is also compatible with Virtual DJ and with the Tractor. We also use this with both of those setups, and we found that it worked really well with Virtual DJ in regards to the platter response. The response was really on point with Virtual DJ, not quite so as much with Tractor. But when you're using this with Tractor, you do have all of your other buttons and all of your other hot loops and hot cues and all that other type of good stuff does work with the pads and the knobs and the faders as well. So it works really well with Tractor, except for your jog wheel positioning and your one-to-one feel and operation, which has always been a problem with non-proprietary Tractor Native Instruments gear when working with Tractor Pro software. This can also be used with your iOS devices and your Android devices, and as you can see all the way at the top, you have a big long strip, so that way you can plug in your iPad Pros and all your other iPads while having them slotted right here on the top of the device, so that way you can see all your track information, all of your waveforms and all that good stuff while you're actually DJing. So first off, all the way in the front panel of the unit, we have your headphone jacks, you have a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch socket, and you also have a jack for your 1/4 inch microphone input, along with a volume knob that is recessed. It pops in and out as you actually press it down. Next up, you have your crossfader. The crossfader is really sharp, really nice and responsive. It has a really clicky and nice metal style feel to it, so it feels like it's really going to last. It was one of my favorite features on the Terminal Mix 8. I'm not sure if this is the same exact crossfader from the Terminal Mix 8, but it feels exactly the same and it has a low cut-in distance, and I was able to perform a lot of my different cuts using the onboard crossfader that's already here. The line faders have a little bit more resistance to them. They feel a little bit more cheap, but they also feel like they can get the job done when you're doing your regular fading duties. You also have your different fader position indicators for each of your channels, so that way you can adjust them to be either on the A side, B side, or have no bearing on the crossfader at all when you have it in the through mode. So this way you can transform, or you can also change the scratch position if you're a hamster scratcher, just by changing the position of the channels that you guys see here. You also have in the middle here a nice LED meter, so that way you can see the levels of the mix that you're currently at within the software of your choice. That way you can see if you're clipping or if you need to lower any of the volumes or the gain knobs on all of your various channels. Next up, you have your cue buttons here, so that way you can cue up whatever is in your headphones, and you can hear what the crowd is not hearing while you're in the cue mode as well. You also have your cue mix knob, so this way you can see what's in the master versus what's in the cue. Then you have your cue volume knob here as well on the top. You have a booth volume knob and a master control volume knob. All of your individual channels also have their own individual filters, as well as low, mid, and high 3-band pass EQ, and these are full kill EQs all the way, and each channel also has its own LED meter to see if that channel in particular is the one that's giving you problems with clipping by the LED indicator that you see on each of your channels. You also have a gain knob all the way at the top, so that way you can adjust the overall volume of that particular channel. Next up, each of the filters have a little light on it, so that way you can tell whether or not your filter is actually engaged or not. So that way you don't always play your gig without knowing you actually have a filter engaged, because the light will always indicate and tell you exactly when you have that. Next up, you have your browse knob. Your browse knob will allow you to browse and enter to the different folders using the software of your choice. You also have another back and view button here, and the shift knobs are located on each deck, mirrored of course, so that way you can hold the shift knob and you can have different attributes to each of the buttons that you press. The load buttons are here too, so that way when you're going through all of your different tracks, you can just press the button for each one of your different channels to load a particular track. You also have underneath that, when you press shift and these load, you can load prepare, you can open prepare, you can change the panels within the DJ software and the area within the DJ software as well when you're navigating through your different parameters and through your different tracks. Okay, so we'll move on to the decks, and as you can see here, the decks are actually mirrored, so that way you have a nice mirrored finish to them. It doesn't really matter to me one way or another. I usually get used to the controller that I'm using very easily, whether it's mirrored or not, but I do like having your pitch sliders and your buttons for play, pause, and cue play all the way to the outside for when you're doing your performance and your turntablist style tricks and juggles, so that way you don't have any mess ups. Next up, you see the pads all the way down here at the bottom for the different performance modes. If you guys have seen my reviews before, we've gone through all of these before. You have your hot cue, your cue loop, you have your loop roll, your loops, your save loops, sampler, pitch play, and you have slicer and the slicer loop. So all of these functions are here. That's present on all of your flagship DJ controllers today. You can see them right here on the Reloop Mixon 4 as well. You have your play pause buttons, which are actually hard plastic. They're hard to the touch, and they do feel like they're reassured and like nothing's gonna break. And you also have your sync button that's the same as that as well. Your hot cue, loop roll, sampler, and slicer buttons are hard plastic as well. While these are the nice squishy style feel to them, you can double finger drum on these. These are very, very accurate pads that we have here, and they're just as good as they were on that Terminal Mix 8. Good pads, nice, big, and oversized, so that way you can get your drummer finger drumming techniques easily in play here on the Reloop Mixon 4. You have your parameter button, so you can change the parameters of your different performance modes. You have your shift button here, and you have a loop section that's a little bit different from your other controllers that's out there. As you can see here on the bottom, you actually have an indicator that's LED to let you know if you're at 1, 2, 4, 8, or 16 bars. And then when you go all the way back down, you'll see that it blinks, so that way you'll know if you're in the half, quarter, 8th, 16th, or 32nd of the loop as well. So really cool to have an indicator on here. But the difference is, instead of pressing this actual knob to start your loop, you'll have to press the auto loop activate button here instead of pressing down on the knob. I really wish you can press the knob down in order to start your loops, because I'm just used to that on different mixers and different controllers that I've been using in the past, especially for Serato DJ. Next up, you have your sync sensor button. You have your pitch lock button, pitch range button, so you can change the range of your pitch slider. You also have your slip mode and your vinyl mode as well over here. You have your very small pitch slider here, which is one of my minor gripes with this unit. I wish that you were able to have a long pitch slider here, so that way you have a nice long throw, like 100 millimeters, so that way you can get your nice, smooth, accurate pitch bending techniques up while you're trying to manually beat match, or when you just need to nudge and change the beat of the track. I just like longer pitch sliders, especially for a flagship DJ controller. There's no indent here, but in the middle, when you are in your perfect balance, you will have a LED indicator to show you that you're at the absolute zero. Next up is the actual jog wheel itself. The jog wheel is really, really nice. As you can see, it has an LED ring around the outside, and I was able to use this ring without looking on the actual computer screen in order to do my many different juggling and turntablist tricks, and it worked out really, really well. You have a really good feel to it. It's all metal on the top, and the weight to it is just right, perfect for scratching, good also for beat matching, and it just works really well. Down here you have your layering button, so that way you can layer between your fourth deck or second deck on that side and your first and third decks on this side. Next up is the familiar FX section, where you have your 3 different effects knobs and your 3 different buttons. You're allowed to press shift and these on buttons in order to select your effect. And then you also have your beats parameter knob all the way over to the right. And of course you have your FX1 and your FX2 section, so you can combine up to 6 different effects within Serato DJ. So in conclusion, the new Reloop Mixon 4 is an excellent flagship controller for the Reloop brand. It is probably the best controller that they have out there on the market today. It's full featured. It has all 4 channels, 4 decks of control right here at your fingertips. And the #1 reason to buy a Reloop Mixon 4 is due to its versatility. You can use this bad boy with a PC, a Mac, an iOS device, an Android device, and you can also use this with many different software. It already comes bundled with the full Serato DJ software. It also comes with Algorithm DJ professional software bundled already, so that usually gets you covered for all of your devices. And then you can also use this with Virtual DJ and Tractor, and you can also use this with other different software that have many mapping enabled. So using this with Tractor, it was very, very good. Mostly all of your different knobs and buttons and all of your different controls line up perfectly with Tractor. The only issue with Tractor, which has been the issue with all other non-proprietary controllers with Tractor, is the responsiveness of the jog wheels. The jog wheels do feel pretty good. You'll be able to pitch bend with them, but for scratching, the jog wheels do not line up one-to-one. When using this with Virtual DJ, the jog wheels were much better, much tighter integration, and all of the different controls that you see here was a good layout and good use case for Virtual DJ as well. But the number one software for this device, in my opinion, is Serato DJ, and that is because it just works perfectly. It's made for it, and all of the jog wheels, everything is very, very tightly integrated. Everything fits together very nicely when using this controller with Serato or with Algorithms DJ when you're using your smaller devices. So really versatile controller is the number one reason for the Reloop Mixon 4. The next reason is that it's a full featured DJ controller, meaning you have all the controls, filters, EQs, all of the different pad sections that you guys would want in Serato DJ. You even have pitch and time and pitch play right here on the pads as well. So it's a very full featured Serato DJ controller and full featured for any other DJ software that you plan to use the Reloop Mixon with. You also have very, very tight integration of the jog wheels. They have perfectly nice weight to them. They also have a nice LED lighted ring on them. And I was able to do different juggles and scratch routines just by using that lighted ring on the actual jog wheel. The crossfader also was mapped very, very nicely. Very easy to pull off your scratches with this. Very low cut-in distance. And again, it felt like it was a very high quality scratch crossfader just from the beginning. It has a nice metal sound to it. And it just feels like it has the quality of the cool scratch mixers from back in the day. It also has that really good Reloop build quality, meaning that this is a very, very solid controller. You're still going to want a case with it if you're going to bring it with you on the go and set it up at different places when you're in your mobile DJ gigs. But overall, it's a really nice construction, really well put together, and really well made. On the downside, you have these really small pitch sliders that are at the corners of the unit. I wish they had longer throw, maybe 100mm pitch sliders, because then you can dial in and get your super accurate pitch. Here, the pitch sliders are very small, and it's a little bit harder to dial in your exact pitch when you're beat matching. The other major gripe with this unit is that there are no inputs at all. With a controller at this level, at this price point, you are expecting to have some type of input, maybe even a mini jack. That way you can plug in your phones for emergencies, for your mobile gigs, or some type of RCA input, or even just channelized RCA inputs for the channel, so that way you can mix different sources together. But unfortunately, on the Reloop Mixon 4, it's just a closed type of ecosystem, and all you're getting here is outputs, a microphone input on the front, and then you're just basically playing everything that you have from software. Other than that, again, it's a really cool, full-featured controller. It's very, very versatile. So those DJs who are out there that want to use PC, Mac, an iOS device, Android, and want to try many different styles of DJ software, then this is probably the one for you. So for more on the full written review and the review summary, you guys can check out the link at the top of this video description, or you can go to www.djbooth.net/DJS. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Make sure you subscribe so you can get more videos like this in the future. And as always, thanks for watching.